Hello everybody, welcome back to today's video. Today we're going to take a look at a brand new video where I predict the 2022 House elections. So without further ado, let's get right into today's video. Now if we look at the first two states, Alabama and Alaska, we're not going to touch on those states, but we are going to go to Arizona. And in the state of Arizona, the Republicans had a small boost according to Politico. And really what it made sure is that the Democrats, they have more competitive seats where there are Democratic incumbents. In the second district, now the district is a R plus 8.4 district for Donald Trump. For example, this incumbent should be very vulnerable in his re-election. We also have some of these districts down in the 6th district. This district got 10.5 points more Republican. So both of those districts are likely going to flip toward the Republican Party. And the second district by a far larger margin. And for the first district, also there's a Republican incumbent. Although Biden did win the district, it probably doesn't matter that much. And for the fourth district, I do think the district will be slightly more competitive. Going to district here, I believe it's the 4th district, if I'm correct. I think this could narrow down, but I'm just going to leave it as likely Democrat. Arkansas, we don't have anything out of the state of Arkansas. Going to the state of California, Democrats had a big boost as what they did was that the Democrats, they basically showed up all the Democratic seats. So, despite the Democrats actually seemingly losing a seat, and the Republicans gaining a seat, the Democrats, without the doubt, get the benefit. For example, in the 21st district, in the 15th district, there are districts in which the Democrats gerrymandered to make sure that they have more political influence, and in a district like the 3rd district, previously not competitive, being an R plus 10 district, now just a R plus 1.9 district, so pretty gerrymandered in a lot of these instances. So if we look at the House elections, I think the Republicans, just based on their red wave, should be able to do pretty well. If we go to the area, the 22nd district, the Republican incumbent should be able to hold on to that seat. I think the 13th district should still remain in the Democratic Party, probably in the Democratic Party's column, although that could change. I think also this district right here with Josh Harder, I think that will narrow down a little bit. I think the 27th district, let's go to Los Angeles. You can see very much a lot of areas with the Republicans in this district. I think Mark Garcia should be able to hold on. I think Michelle Steele definitely should be able to hold on. I think actually Katie Porter may lose her re-election bid. I'm actually going to give that towards the Republicans because of the red wave. Going to the state of Colorado, we don't have much to talk about here. I think Ed Blummer should be able to win his re-election bid. His actually non-re-election bid, he's not going to run for re-election, but the Democrats do have a pretty strong lead in the states, in this particular district, and the only seat gained was a highly competitive seat. So yeah, it was a district that Biden won by 14.5, so we do expect a Democrat to win that district. In the 8th district, I think a Republican should win that district. I think Biden probably won the district, like it's D plus 4.7, but there's no guarantee whatsoever a Democrat could do nearly as close as, Joe Biden may be able to do. For Connecticut, I do think there will be the 5th district a little bit closer, but not close to a point in which this state is basically going to be contested in. Delaware and then Florida with no congressional map. We go to the state of Georgia, which really there's nothing too much to talk about. We do have the 2nd district. The incumbent there is running for re-election. He's a very strong incumbent. He should be able to win. That being said, it's slightly more competitive. And if we look at the suburban seat right here, it's an open seat, but it should be a safe Republican seat, not a likely Republican seat. Now we go to the next state that has value in talking about, the state of Illinois. Illinois right now does have a very, very gerrymandered map, arguably one of the worst in the United States. So yeah, if we look at the districts, basically Democrats got rid of 2 Republican districts, added 1 to the Democrats, and basically shored up the Democratic seats. Even this competitive district with Cherry Bustos, this district has become like 5-6 points more Democrat. if not more. So it is a very big gerrymander on the Democratic side. This was a Trump plus 1.7 district, and because it was Biden plus 7.8 district. Going to the 13th district, Trump carried the district by 4. Biden's carrying the district by over 10. So pretty extreme gerrymanders. You can see these districts, these very urban districts, they're stretching to those rural areas, diluting the Republican influence in a lot of these districts, while still maintaining that the districts are safe Republican. The old district, the 14th district, Biden won it by 2. Right now, Biden would have won the district by 11 points. So, again, a very gerrymandered map. If we look at, I think some Republican voters and some independent voters will punish the Democrats for doing that, but it's not going to be enough whatsoever. The 13th will be tilt Democrat, so will the 14th, and the 10th, I think, will be lean Democrat. And the 17th district, giving a Republican wave, should go to the Republican Party. Indiana, nothing really there to say about Iowa. We do have one competitive seat with a Democratic incumbent really going to go to the Republicans, giving a delegation from the 3-1 in favor of the Democrats in 2018 to a 4-0 in favor of the Republicans in 2022. Kansas, there is one district, Sharice Davids. There will be a court hearing, maybe in the state, I don't know. But I think the map is highly unlikely to be stricken down. Sharice Davids in this more Republican seat probably loses re-election. If we look at the state of Maine, we have one competitive seat here, being a 2nd district currently held by a Democratic incumbent. The district is slightly more competitive, but that would not save Jared Golden's fate. He is sealed to lose re-election by probably about a 4-point margin. Going to Maryland, we don't really have much there. We have this district, I believe. This district, I think, will be closer. So will the 6th district. This district stretching a lot of the rural areas to the very Democratic areas down here. And we have the 1st district, a little bit more gerrymandered. Very gerrymandered, actually. You can just see the lines. One of the worst gerrymanders as well. This map's going to look something like this. If we look at Michigan, there's also court hearings about this map potentially favoring Democrats. If we look at the state of Michigan, this is also a state worth discussing here. There will be a court hearing. I don't think that's going to change much, though. Really, this map, it is pretty much the same. There's a less of a strong Trump seat, but otherwise, the map is quite similar. If we look at which district they lost, probably I'd say they combined the 2nd and the 4th district into this very large district, I guess. That's probably where the districts are different. Right now speaking, the 7th district has become more Democrat. We have, however, the 8th district being more Republican. We have the Grand Rapids district, which actually voted for Biden by 8.6 points, despite the old map going to Donald Trump. And we have the district down here slightly more competitive. Overall, I'd say this is actually a plus for the, but it's still probably, overall speaking, a minus for Democrats. Maybe not, it's pretty 50-50 at this point. We have the 10th district, which was a safe Democratic district that now is a Republican-leaning seat. And I do think that in 10th district, that district will go red. The incumbent there is Andy Levin in that district. He will challenge Haley Stevens. Honestly, Haley Stevens is going to win that primary. Going to the other seats, I think both of those those seats will be considered lean Republican. They're toss-ups, I think. Honestly, in a Republican wave, that's how they're going to land. The 3rd district being also a Grand Rapids district that Biden won by 9 points. Democrats should have no problem doing well in the district. That being said, it should not be enough for them, especially in 2022, possibly 2024. But honestly, I don't think so. We skipped the state of Minnesota. We only have one district, actually 2 districts. I think the 1st district will be considered safe in this instance. The 2nd district, Anjay Craig, it's going to be a very close district. Honestly, I think the Democrats nearly hold that on, but we do have to consider that Dean Phillips' district is also slightly more competitive than the map labels. Going to the state of Nebraska, we have one competitive district with Don Bacon. I think this is a good characterization, although I do think that he'll actually win by a pretty safe margin. I mean, the Democrat challenger in 2018 actually endorsed him in 2020. Going to the state of Nevada, we have 3 competitive seats. They're all lean Democrat according to them. I don't really agree. Going to a lot of these districts, Nevada was supposed to be a very bad Democratic gerrymander. It looks like it is a gerrymander, but it is a dummy mander, and that's going to be a problem for the Democrats. I think they could have the opportunity to lose all 4 of those seats. There's not much of a change, I guess. There's actually one less strong Biden seat, but the other district has been shored up for the Democrats. If we look at the map here, Biden won all 3 of those districts by a pretty comfortable margin, so what's the problem? Well, the problem is right now all 3 of those districts are pretty competitive for both parties, and that will not be a good thing for the Democrats. I think that, first of all, I think Titos will probably lose, as well as that the 3rd district will go Republican. That being said, there will still be a 4th district Democratic incumbent Democrat who is probably going to hold on. There's only 4 states that haven't finished redistricting. We're going to go to New Jersey. I think this is a pretty fair representation. Jeff Van Drew, though, I'm not sure he's going to win by a safe margin, though it's a pretty good estimate. The 5th district and the 11th district, both of those, I think will be slightly more competitive. But otherwise, this is actually a pretty solid map, and the 7th probably gets a little bit safer for the Republican Party. Also, there will be a Democrat loss in that state. For the 2nd district of New Mexico, they have drawn a dummy matter, the Democrats have. But yeah, this is going to be how you characterize the district. One of the other 2 districts will be more competitive than they label to. However, it's going to be a 2-1 delegation in the state of New Mexico. Going to the state of New York, one of those states with incredible gerrymanders. We only have 4 Republican seats remaining, so yeah. If we look at the Long City area, we can see that one of these districts, Lee Zeldin, is retiring to run for governor. This district probably goes nearly towards the Republicans, because although there's no incumbent, I think the Democrats, they will still struggle in this environment. And I think at the 11th district, similar thing, except there is a Republican incumbent who unseated a previous, I think, Democrat. Actually, no, it was held by a Democrat, but he did not unseat a Democrat. That being said, for the 18th district, I think, yeah, probably it's going to narrow down a little bit, but not going to change anything, similar to the 19th district. North Carolina, the court stricken down the gerrymander, at least according to the Democrats. The map right now looks honestly pretty bad for the Democrats. They gain a seat for the Republicans. They gain a seat in 14th. I think they gain a seat I think they don't gain any more seats compared to 2020, but there's a 13th district which is open, so one more Democratic seat in the expense of the Republicans, and then I think they combined 2 Republicans, probably, I don't know. Yeah, in the 13th, they basically left an open seat, so pretty bad for the Republicans, this map. Going to the 1st district, I think it actually could go red, depending on the environment. If we look at the state of North Carolina, let me see, I can't really find it. Really, I mean, why can't I find North Carolina? It's just so weird on its website sometimes. Oh, here, right here in the state of North Carolina, we have the state of North Carolina. It does take some time to load. Yeah, this is good. Alright, we can see that Biden would have won actually all 7 of these districts, which is quite interesting, but also actually 7 of the districts, which is quite interesting, though I do believe the Democrats should do decently well in North Carolina, at least comparing to the current map. The 1st district should be closer because J.K. Butterfield's previously announcing to retiring, now saying that he will not retire. However, for the 13th district, that will go the Republican, in my opinion. Kevin E. Manning, I think, will actually have a surprisingly competitive seat, but in the end goes to the Democrats. Ohio, the state of Ohio, the map may be stricken down. So this is the map here. Right now, if this map holds, I'm talking if because I'm not entirely sure if the map will hold or not. The 9th district probably, because Democrats are just suing for their states. That being said, Democrats do gerrymander, I think, even harsher than the Republicans in the cycle. So yeah, this is the 9th district probably still goes Republican. Anthony Gonzalez, I think, is it the 7th district? Yeah, that district is pretty solid for the Republicans, actually. The 13th district, I believe, is more competitive, though I do think that will go to the Republicans. But the 1st district with Steve Chabot, I'm not sure if he could hold on re-election. I think he'll narrowly do that. That being said, he could absolutely lose re-election, which will be one of those Democratic pickups. That being said, Republicans are picking up 2 seats, one with Marcy Camper and one with, I think, Tim Ryan in Ohio's 14th, who has been drawn into a very Republican district. Also, that's safe, not likely. Oregon's a state where I think Democrats, they won't have that much luck. Pierre DeFazio not running for re-election, going to be more competitive. The 6th district, it's open, I think. Without an incumbent, the Republicans could actually win that seat. Well, for the 5th district, I think Kurt Schrader probably still wins re-election. Gonna go to the state of Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania actually did a very strong video analyzing that state. You can see that on a card right on your screen. Just click on that video. You really would enjoy it. But yeah, I'm not going to explain all those things in this video. I'm just going to do my characterizations here. I don't think any of these characterizations should surprise you that much. If you want to know the detail, basically watch that video. I'm not going to explain everything back here. So yeah. The 17th district with Connor Lamb, he's not running for re-election, so that's basically that. And then we have the Democrats. This map is surprisingly okay now for the Democrats, but they're going to lose control of the state, which is currently tied anyway. Going to go to the state of Texas. We actually have, I think Henry Cuellar actually will lose re-election. We saw in that Texas primary, no one's getting over 50%, so that will go to runoff. Going to be pretty bad news for the Democrats in that district. For the 15th, I think that's going to go likely Republican based on what the 28th district is telling us. So, yeah, if we look at the state of Virginia, right now I'd say that this is a decent map. Actually, no, this is not a decent map. This is not the fair map. The 22nd district, I think that one will go to the Republicans. I also think the 7th district will nearly go to the Republicans within the Virginia suburbs. So the Republicans will actually control the House for Virginia once again, though probably for only 2 years at the 7th district, could be at risk of flipping. So this is probably going to be their characterization of Wisconsin. The 2nd district, I'm not going to be talking about too much about the district. It will go likely Republican. That being said, the 1st district is actually going to be very competitive, in my opinion, because this is only a Trump district +3. In the end, though, Republicans should be able to win, as they do have a Republican incumbent, which is Brian Steele, which ends our map right now with the Republicans on the edge. Despite the remaining states going to be heavily Republican, I think the Republicans will win basically about 235 to the Democrats maybe at 200, because if we look at the states remaining, there's not going to be any more seats, too much seats for Democrats to pick up. Probably 10 in Florida. We have probably 1 in Louisiana, 2 in the state of Missouri, and 1 in the state of New Hampshire. So that's going to end today's video. Be sure to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you're new, just subscribe, man. It's free. It's going to mean everything to me. Share this video with a friend and watch the videos on your screen right now. And thanks so much for watching this video. I see you guys all tomorrow or in the next video, and bye.